The two equations at the end, I realized.
Okay, here we go. These two are going to be great. First one, R is 4. I don't care about the negative. The negative is going to not going to matter here. I'm just saying R is 4, which is greater than 1. So no sum exists. I love it. Great warm up. Fantastico. We get to move on. Okay. Number 8. What row are we in for number 8? Row 4. And does anyone have row 4 memorized? Yes. 14641. Great job. Just a note, you don't have to memorize that. It is on the triangle. And you should know how to make the triangle also. But anyway, okay. So we have 1 front seat to the full power, back seat to the 0. There's no way I'm going to fit this here, so I'm probably going to have to go on 2 lines, but it's going to be all right. Plus 4 front seat down, back seat up. Plus 6 front seat down, back seat up. Plus 4 front seat down, back seat up. Plus 1 front seat down, back seat up. Okay. Next thing we do is cross out the ones. This is a 1. This is a 1. This is a 1 here. Don't cross this out. This is a 1. I'm not going to cross it out though because I want to talk about it. This is a 1. This is a 1. This is a 1. Okay. Equals. All right, everyone. Very, very carefully. What is 2v quantity to the 4th? 16v to the 4th. This is on your next quiz. No matter how many times we do this, some poor soul's going to write 2v to the 4th there. Bless her heart. Okay, next plus. So this is going to be 4 from this. And then 2v quantity cubed is going to be 8v cubed. And then times -1. Don't ignore this. -1 to the 1 power is -1. Plus 6 times 2v quantity squared is 4v squared. And then -1 squared is 1. +1. You wouldn't really even have to write this. I just want to do it because I'm being very careful. Okay. 4 times 2v times -1 is -1 cubed. -1 times -1 times -1, which is a negative. And then this would be +1 because -1 to the 4th is +1. Okay, equals 16v to the 4th. Okay, so 4 times 8 is 32 times -1 is -32. So you make this subtraction. See what I did there? 6 times 4 is 24 times 1 is 24. So make this addition. 4 times 2 is 8 times -1 is -8. So make that subtraction. And then what? All right, packets can go away. All righty, guys. So we're not going to do 38 through 40 the way it is in the book. We're going to do 38 through 40 note style. I also came up with some of my own problems because I wanted certain situations to come up that we can talk about, make sure that we know what to do in every possible situation. Again, I'm going to use two colors. I'm going to use this to reduce and this to write. So if you're a person that likes that sort of thing, please get out your reducing pen. All right. Okay. So the first thing we learned on Monday was what constitutes a giant one. And we learned about things that you can cancel and you can't. Things have to be multiplied. They have to be factors to be reduced. So that is reducible in its entirety. It has to be all of 5x minus 2 and all of 5x minus 2. And this becomes x plus 1 over 1. I know that we would never write that as a final answer, but I really want to make sure you guys know that when you cancel something and it's all gone on the numerator or denominator, that part becomes 1. So when you see this, I need you to be thinking that's 1. Any questions about that? I know it's simple, but it's okay. All right, now this. I threw this in here on purpose. Do you remember on the scavenger hunt, there was that problem where, okay, let me see. It was something like this. Remember this? The problem on the scavenger hunt? And you guys had something like this. And this was not an option for the scavenger hunt. Okay, and what I told you was we don't mathematically leave a negative in the denominator. What we do is we move that negative to the top, and that would flip the order of the subtraction. Okay, so this is actually -1. I want you to just take a look at that. Think about that for a second. This is -1. Okay, now let's actually simplify it out. So what we're going to do is leave the top 5x minus 2 because that's the prettier one of the two for me. And on the bottom, I'm going to GCF out a negative. It's going to feel weird. I'm only going to do this one time because I want you to know that this is -1. Okay, I'm going to GCF out a negative. That means that in here, I'd have -2 plus 5x. Pause a moment and distribute that negative back in and make sure that this makes sense. Negative times a negative is +2. Negative times 5x is -5x. Okay, I don't expect you to come up with doing this on your own, but I expect you to trust me that I'm not making up some kind of voodoo over here. Okay, now I'm going to leave the top 5x minus 2. And I'm going to leave the negative out here. And then I'm going to switch the order of these two and put the positive 5x in the front and the -2 behind it. So I went positive 5x minus 2. Do you see what I did? Giant 1 equals -1. Okay, So what did we learn here? We learned that if we have the reverse order of subtraction in the top and bottom of two factors, you can reduce them. You just have to reduce them to be -1, not 1. So it's your first giant -1 ever, probably, in your life. Zoe, what's wrong? Do you want to say something? Are you sure? Okay. You positive? Did you even know that there was a possibility of a giant -1? Probably not. But now you do, and you can keep your eyes out for it, like SpongeBob when he peels his eyes off. Okay. Next, excluded values, any value in the problem that makes the denominator 0. On this problem, we are going to reduce and find excluded values. Do you see a giant 1? Right here. Got it? See it? Okay. So x plus 3 over x minus 3. Okay, that's the final answer for that problem. However, we're going to state the excluded values. So x cannot equal 3. And remember, we take our excluded values from the problem, not the answer. I'm going to do this one because this is notes. So I want to show where everything's coming from. Now, most of you guys can probably do that in your head. You could say 2.5. I wouldn't mark it wrong. I don't love it, but I wouldn't mark it wrong. Okay, any questions about simplifying and stating excluded values? So when we get to the division one, pause, just, I'm going to make a note for you. That's the closest one. It's the one that's on your quiz next week. So go ahead and set this part up. Okay, here we go. Multiplication. We're going to write some words on this part. So we're going to say multiply across the top, multiply across the bottom, and reduce. Now, some people might remember that I taught you a way to reduce first and then multiply, which is technically not the 100% approved way to do this problem, but I'm going to do this problem the proper way because it's notes. Don't let me forget to show you my joke. It's a little spicy today. Okay, anyway, equals. Okay, multiply across the top. What number do I get when I multiply across the top? What number? 30. How many total A's do I have on the top? 3. And 3 B's also. Any questions about what I got from the top there? Okay, the bottom, 4 times 9 is 36. I have 1 A on the bottom and 3 B's. Okay. All right, so 30 over 36. What number goes into both 30 and 36? 6. Okay, so this becomes 5 and this becomes 6. So I divided by 5 and I divided by 6 and I divided by 6. Okay, do you notice that, what's wrong? Oh, thank you. That's really important actually, because I was just about to cancel it. You saved me. Okay, perfect. Okay, so what I want you guys to do is pretend that you're in math 1. I'm sorry, it's just one time. Yes, I can hear you all the way over here. I have the ears of a bat for some reason. I don't know. Okay, so I'm never going to ask you to do this again. I just want to do it because it's notes. I just want it all to make sense. Okay, what I'm doing is I'm hunting for ones. I see a 1 here. I see a 1 here, a 1 here, and a 1 here. And you can always do this, but you could also just subtract the exponents, which is a lot easier. The problem with that is people will do 3 minus 4, put b to the negative 1 and only get half credit. So this way is better. Okay, so what's left on the top? 5a squared over 6b. Okay, if, so we go back to the problem. We have 2 letters in the denominator, and this is all being multiplied, so a cannot be 0, and b cannot be 0. There's the 0. Okay. Now, the next one is spicy. This one is the closest one to the one on your quiz, but the one on your quiz isn't this spicy. I did this spicy on purpose. I made this one up because I wanted it to have everything I wanted. So division, you're going to write keep, change, flip, then multiply. Okay. What makes this problem spicy is not really the problem. There's a couple of situations here. It's the problem and the excluded values that make it spicy. You have to consider excluded values before and after you keep change flip. Okay, so okay, what does that mean for you? Like, what is my recommendation? My recommendation is if there's factoring involved, factor it how it looks, and then keep change flip, and then do your excluded values. Okay, so what am I saying? What is Mrs. Talbot saying here? Okay, so x squared minus 1, what type of factoring is that? I heard it. Someone said it. Difference of two squares. I'm going to do all my factoring down here in this white space. So I have x and 1 and 1. The x's go in the front seats. The 1's go in the back seats. And I have a plus and a minus because it's subtraction over x divided by. Okay, what type of factoring is this? How do I factor the numerator? If you don't know this, you're just all quiet. I'm just gonna assume that you're all quiet. It's called diamond and box. You hopefully, you know, might have encountered it before, like 75 times in your homework last night. I thought that was a lot of diamond and boxing, even for me. Anyone like force themselves to learn how to do it in their head so they didn't have to diamond and box them all? They're both minus. They're both minus. They're both minus. They're both minus. I don't know what I'm doing. It's Friday. Lost regard for all math rules. Okay. All right. So here's my first style of factoring, difference of squares. Here's my second style of factoring, which is diamond and box. And now I have my third style of factoring here. Notice why I picked this problem. No, don't put it there. Don't put it there. I just put it down here, 2x squared plus x. I don't know why I'm struggling so much to write this nicely. Okay, this is a GCF style. The GCF is x, so I have 2x plus 1. Okay, so pausing here, I have all the factoring done. The hardest part of the problem is over. What are my excluded values right now? Okay, so yep, right here, x cannot be 0. This one is also 0. And then this one is correct. Okay, now I'm going to keep change flip. And what I have to do after I keep chain flip is I have to reevaluate for excluded values. So there's my 0. And now I also have x cannot equal 1. Okay, but now I can reduce, which I'm very excited about. Do you guys see 2 giant ones? I see 2 giant ones. So the x minus 1s make a giant 1, and the x's make a giant 1. Done. Okay, I'm going to flip my paper over. We're going to do addition and subtraction, and then we're done. All right, here we go. Step 1. Multiply by giant ones of what is missing in each denominator. Multiply by giant ones of what is missing. I put that in quotes like, what do you need in each denominator? Okay. This side has a 6. This side has a v plus 3. 6 is a number. V plus 3 is a number. What does this side need? It needs v plus 3. Did you overthink that? What does this side need? Six. This is how a lot of these problems work. So this side you'll multiply by that thing. This side you'll multiply by that thing a lot of times. Okay. Add across the top, and bottom stays the same. Don't freak out that these are on the other side of the parentheses. It's okay. Okay, I'm going to put the 6 in front of the v plus 3 down here just because it looks prettier to me. I'm going to fix this up though. Okay. Okay, last step of this, simplify, which is what we did here. Simplify and reduce if possible. Okay, does anyone notice anything about the numerator that you should notice? Yeah, you GCF of 3. Okay, what do you think we should do next? We're gonna try to diamond and box the top. So factor. I'm gonna come down here, do it out of the way. What multiplies to be -4 and adds to be 5? No. Nope. It's a trick question. It doesn't work. Okay, this is not factorable. I wanted to throw one of those in there because that happens sometimes. So I wanted you guys to like think that, oh, you're not crazy. There is something to reduce here though. The 3/6 can be reduced to 1/2. Yes. I got to sleep in today and apparently it's not good for me. I just need to get up at 4:50 a.m. I slept till 5:45 today. It was like luxury sleep. But no, now my brain's all foggy. Okay, what about excluded values? If X, no, it's not even X. Oh my gosh. No extra sleep for you, Mrs. Salad. Okay, we have one more problem that I'm gonna make it through without screwing up. It's gonna happen. I'm gonna do it. It'll be awesome. Our last one. It's gonna take a minute though, and we can't go too fast because that would be really stupid. Okay. Do I have a common denominator? No. Okay. This side has an x plus 4. This side has an x squared minus 15. But the question is, for my advanced people in the room, does this side have an x plus 4 in it? It does. Okay, this is where you're going to have the thought, oh, this is factorable. Because it's a difference of squares. You're actually going to have that thought process. Oh, I need to find a common denominator. This one is x plus 4. Oh, that's factorable. I need to see what that is before I decide what the common denominator is. Okay, now this side has both x plus 4 and x minus 4. What does this side need? X minus 4. You see why this problem is spicy. Okay. Why do I need parentheses? Anybody remember the reason? Yes, because you're subtracting everything. Or you could say you're subtracting a binomial, which is 2 items. Bottom stays the same. Quick note, real quick. You guys in the room, you all know that the order of the factors does not matter if they're multiplying, right? So if I wrote x minus 4, x plus 4, it's the same thing as writing x plus 4, x minus 4. You all know that? Okay, just check. Okay, now let's disturb it. Sounds like a fun ice cream. 2x minus 8 minus 4x plus x squared. Sorry about that. Camera management. Could she have 2 in a row that don't work? No. I would not waste notes on that. Almost done. What can x not be? -4 and 4.